Kaboom! Today we're going to take a quick look at DC Multiverse Superman figure based on the comic book Hush, so let's take a closer look. The packaging is in a nice window display box, very basic like the rest of your DC Multiverse line. Side of the box, Superman Hush, 85 years of Superman up here. The back of the box, it has some awesome looking artwork from Jim Lee, so let's crack this bad boy open and see what he's all about. And here he is, fresh out of the packaging, and I have to say, straight out of the packet, he's looking pretty good. So accessory wise, you get a trading card, again with Jim Lee's artwork, a little bio of Superman on the back there. You get some interchangeable hands, so you get some flying hands, and you also get a flight stand, so you can have him standing on here with the foot peg, or you can use it as a flight stand, and all you do to connect these two together is put them together there, slide, and it should snap into place like so, and then you've got a flight stand for Superman. So first impressions, I like him a lot, but he's by no means perfect. As you can see, I've had to put him on his stand because I'm really struggling to get this guy to stand straight. He's got this tendency just to topple back because these ratchet joints here on his ankles, they seem quite weak, and they're not supporting the top weight here because he's quite a bulky, top heavy figure, this guy. So he's just got a tendency just to topple back. So this stand, I think, is going to have to be a must for this guy. So with that aside, let's take a closer look at the figure itself. So the head sculpt, I'm liking that. I don't really like the fact he's kind of really receding here, but as a comic book looking Superman, I think McFarlane have done a really good job at that. So he's got some really nice details on his suits, all the wrinkles. It's got painted belt buckles, which is excellent. It's got some panel work on his legs. Got a little bit of a dent here on his boot from the packaging, but I can live with that. The back of the figure, I really like this cape. It's like a thick kind of bendy material, but I'm so happy they finally included an S on the back of his cape. I like it when Superman's got an S on the back of his cape, but obviously with this being a thick plastic, it's kind of making my figure topple over. But apart from that, I'm liking him. So let's go over some articulation. So his head, it can look side to side, up and down. It can't go up too much though, which is a bit of a shame really. So if you wanted him in some flying poses, that's as far as you can get his head, unless you really bent him back. So that's a bit of a shame. But it still looks good though. His arms, up, down, fully round, double jointed elbows, which is great to see. That you can get a really good angle there. Same on his legs, double jointed. Again, on both legs. Well, that's funny. I've just noticed here, all this blue, it's all consistent until you get to his knee joints here. It's a completely different shade of blue. See if the camera's picking that up. Yeah, that's very off-putting. I can't unsee that now I've seen that. That is a shame. It's kind of like the blue they used on his first appearance, which I think is the same body as this figure. So I don't know if they've messed up the joints somehow when making this, but that is very off-putting. I might have to switch some parts out. It's got good range here, and swivel all the way around. So the articulation's not bad, apart from the head not being able to look all the way up. So I'm happy with the articulation. One thing I'm not too happy about this figure. In person, it's really off-putting. He's very shiny in places. Like on his neck, he's got like a glossy finish kind of here, and it doesn't really look natural. Same on his hands, and then the skin tone doesn't really match up. He's a very, very pale looking Superman. But my nitpicks aside, you know, for £20, this guy, he's pretty cool. So I'll show you what he looks like next to a few other DC multiverse. So I've got Batman, Hush. Put him up there. See, the scaling on these, McFarlane seemed to be all over the place. They're never consistent. Like this Superman on this body book, he's a lot shorter than the Batman you would display this Superman with, because it's from the same comic, Hush. But for some reason, Batman's a lot taller than the Superman, as you can see, which is a bit of a shame. But if they carry on making smaller scale figures, I'll be happy with that. So I'll show you what he looks like next to my Kit Bash Superman, with a Mezco head on and some parts of DC Rebirth. So I'm having to stand him up because it's an absolute pain to stand without these stands. Yeah, these two together, they're looking pretty good. I really like the colour of this one, even though this is a very classic looking. On camera, this one looks even better, I think, in person. Let me know what you think. But that's what they look like together there. They're not far off. This one's slightly smaller, slightly taller, should I say. But obviously this one's got the bulkier arms. That's based on the Action Comics and Rebirth body that Kit Bash I did. I'll show you what he looks like next to the Three Jokers Batman. So I think they might work. Yeah, they work pretty well. Let me know what you think about that. Tell me, do you bleed? Wrong Batman, but such a good line. So anyone who's interested in head swapping this guy, let's give it a go. So whoops, did not want to do that. So let's pull his head off. And I've got a Mezco head, which I'm halfway through a custom. I'm going to attempt to make a Clark Kent, so stay tuned for that. So let's pop off that head there. And then, well, the peg's not really going to fit, but just for like a demonstration purpose, I'll just put it on loosely there. Doesn't look too bad. The skin tone definitely doesn't match, but it looks better having a smaller head, I think, on this body. One thing I think I will do, looking at it, I'm definitely going to take the shine off it, because I'm not liking the neck, the hands, and how pale they are, so I think I'm going to paint that up. I think that's what I'm definitely going to do. The more I look at it, the more it's the more it's annoying me, to be honest. So let's whack his head back on. Got a few more size comparisons to show you. So here he is next to a Robin. That works pretty well. And then here he is next to Michael Keaton from The Flash. I'm going to customize this guy, so keep posted for an upcoming video on him. I've already made a little start. I've trimmed his ears down so they're not as bulbous looking at the ends, so stay tuned for that one. So let me know what you think of this guy, if you're going to pick him up, or Have you had enough of Superman since McFarlane just keeps pumping them out like there's no tomorrow? Same with Batman. Figure after figure he keeps announcing, which I'm not complaining because I love Batman and Superman. But for a collector, you know, it hits the wallet hard. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.